Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, today I'm going to talk about some facts about Isshiki Otsutsuki. Isshiki Otsutsuki is going to be introduced into Boruto anime for one of the first times, and this right here is going to be an absolutely insane thing, and a bunch of people are probably going to be wondering, what is Isshiki Otsutsuki, who is Isshiki Otsutsuki, and just a whole bunch of questions surrounding his overall character. So in this video I'm going to give you guys 5 facts about Isshiki Otsutsuki. Although this is a fact video about Isshiki Otsutsuki, I will try my very best to keep the spoilers at a minimum in regards to manga content. Fact number 1 about Isshiki Otsutsuki is Isshiki Otsutsuki was actually Kaguya Otsutsuki's teammate. They came to Earth about 1,000 years ago, but Isshiki Otsutsuki actually got betrayed by Kaguya Otsutsuki. Now this right here was absolutely insane when we found out about this in the Boruto manga. It pretty much stopped everybody in their tracks and also made us understand that the Otsutsuki clan pretty much operates on a team by team basis. Kaguya Otsutsuki was a teammate of Isshiki Otsutsuki, Momoshiki Otsutsuki was a teammate of Kinshiki Otsutsuki, and we also seen some stone tablets in the Otsutsuki dimension that Sasuke recently went to in the Boruto anime, and we also seen Otsutsuki members paired up on those stone tablets. So this right here pretty much tells us that pure Otsutsuki members more likely than not travel in pairs of 2. Kaguya betraying Isshiki Otsutsuki is still one of the biggest mysteries in the Boruto manga as of right now, but there's still a bunch of popular theories upon why people think that Kaguya actually betrayed Isshiki Otsutsuki. One of the most popular theories is the fact that Kaguya Otsutsuki actually found love on Earth and actually didn't necessarily want Isshiki Otsutsuki to find out, partly because Kaguya Otsutsuki was also with Isshiki Otsutsuki, or because Kaguya understood the ridicule that she'd probably get from the Otsutsuki clan if they found out that Kaguya was actually with a human on Earth. Now supposedly when Kaguya Otsutsuki betrayed Isshiki Otsutsuki, she actually split Isshiki Otsutsuki in half. When this was explained in the Boruto manga, the writers made it very clear that Kaguya Otsutsuki was not stronger than Isshiki Otsutsuki by any means. Kaguya Otsutsuki actually caught Isshiki Otsutsuki off guard, and that right there gave Kaguya the upper hand in that battle. But even while having that upper hand, Kaguya was still unable to actually fully kill Isshiki Otsutsuki. Fact number 2 is that Isshiki Otsutsuki has 2 separate vessels. Now the 2 separate vessels that Isshiki Otsutsuki has is 1 Jigen and 2 Kawaki. We already seen Jigen in the Boruto anime right now, and we have to understand that Isshiki Otsutsuki is actually in the body of Jigen. Isshiki Otsutsuki is just using the body of Jigen as a quote-unquote vessel. Isshiki Otsutsuki actually implanted Jigen with the karma seal right after their battle with Kaguya Otsutsuki. Isshiki Otsutsuki understood that he was probably going to die in the body of Isshiki, so he then implanted Jigen with the karma seal. There is a very simple reason why Isshiki Otsutsuki has multiple vessels. His first vessel, Jigen, isn't necessarily able to fully embrace his overall resurrection. As you guys know, the karma seal is pretty much there to pretty much resurrect the Otsutsuki member in another body. Right now, if Isshiki Otsutsuki were to actually resurrect himself into the body of Jigen, he would essentially die in a couple of days because the power of Isshiki Otsutsuki is just way too much for the overall body of Jigen to handle. But on the other hand, Kawaki, dubbed by Isshiki Otsutsuki himself, is a worthy vessel. If Isshiki Otsutsuki were to actually revive into the body of Kawaki, they would be good. Isshiki Otsutsuki would then be able to live for the rest of eternity. At first, Isshiki Otsutsuki was too weak to implant Jigen with the karma seal, so he shrunk himself to an extremely small size, crept into the earlobe of Jigen, which was a monk at the time, and actually stored himself on Jigen's brain. Isshiki Otsutsuki stored himself there to absorb a bunch of nutrients, heal up until the point where he was actually able to implant Jigen with a karma seal, which is probably why Jigen's karma seal is on his chin and not his hand like Boruto and Kawaki. Now the story of how Kawaki became Isshiki Otsutsuki's vessel was already detailed in the Boruto anime. Jigen carried out an experiment that included 15 different children. 13 of those children actually died. Kawaki actually got the karma seal, and there is a 15th other experiment that I'm not necessarily going to spoil as of right now. Fact number 3 is that Isshiki Otsutsuki has a unique dojutsu. Now this dojutsu has not necessarily been named yet, but we do know the abilities, or some of the abilities, that were actually shown in the Boruto manga. The first one of his abilities is going to be Sukuna Hikona, which in itself is a mouthful, but this ability gives Isshiki Otsutsuki the ability to shrink any inanimate object or non-living object to an extremely small size, even barely detectable by Sasuke's visual prowess. That ability on face value doesn't necessarily seem like a big deal until you actually see how Isshiki Otsutsuki utilizes this. He actually catches Naruto and Sasuke with this ability multiple times. He also has a different ability called Daikokuten. This right here pretty much gives Isshiki Otsutsuki the ability to store things in a different dimension where time doesn't flow, and he can also pull things out of that dimension instantaneously. So literally, you could be in a fight with Isshiki Otsutsuki and he can literally pull anything out at any given time, which pretty much makes his battle style extremely unpredictable. For example, one time in mid-battle, Isshiki Otsutsuki pulled out a full set of new clothes and also a glass of wine and drank it on the battlefield. A couple times in battle, he also pulled out these gigantic black cubes, and not even to point out the countless times he impaled Sasuke and Naruto with these exact same abilities. Fact number 4, I should say indisputable fact number 4, Isshiki Otsutsuki to date is the strongest character we've ever seen in the Naruto series, flat out, point blank. And what's even crazier is the fact that Isshiki Otsutsuki fully admitted he was not the strongest Otsutsuki member that there is. In that conversation, he was talking about potentially becoming the Otsutsuki god, which in theory just means an Otsutsuki member that isn't rivaled, and of course Isshiki Otsutsuki was not there yet. Fact number 5 is that Isshiki Otsutsuki had a very good personality. I will admit Isshiki Otsutsuki was definitely a bit of a narcissist. Everything he did was to potentially better his own self and reach the level of an Otsutsuki god, but also it's the fact that Isshiki Otsutsuki was hilarious and extremely memeable. I already talked about when he pretty much got a full change of clothes and also a glass of wine and pretty much drank it in mid-battle, but also he does things like this, which is extremely hilarious. Unlike a lot of the other Otsutsuki members out there, Isshiki Otsutsuki doesn't hold back when he's actually in battle. He's not necessarily afraid to actually kill a person in a blink of an eye. And honestly, to be honest, for his personality, he's probably my favorite Otsutsuki member that there is. But these are 5 facts about Isshiki Otsutsuki. I personally think that he's probably one of the best characters in the whole series of Naruto. Let me know what you guys think about Isshiki Otsutsuki in the comment section below, and list some facts that I didn't necessarily name in this video. But it's been your boy Baara B, and we out.
It's a knife.